And
Not a
and
bad
now
thing.
and now for one of the most bad taste segues ever in the history of podcasts. So tell us, Holly, you cried anything? Did you cry at Do Revenge? Because
No.
Do Revenge, Do Revenge is the other thing we're talking about. The other high
Yes.
school set thing that we were talking about that I reviewed back a while back on the podcast. Holly went to watch it and Holly was like, "Oh my god, I want to talk about Do Revenge." And I think I even said when I reviewed it, I was like, "Holly, I think you will like this."
I wasn't on when you talked about it, though. I had watched it. You just
Oh,
messaged said you should watch it, which is
oh,
why I
okay, yes, 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 yes. I did message you saying that I did think it was right up your alley, and I
and
was right.
you were absolutely spot on.
Yes, what
So
we
it
need to
was
take away from this whole thing is that the man was right. That's what we need to take away.
absolutely right. Man is always right. Thank you,
Don't know
man,
about
for
don't
wise
don't know
words.
about that. Don't know that that's pushing it a bit too far.
Yeah, I could go with it. Yeah, I found it an absolute delight. It's, I think we said before, it's a high school grudge film with a beautiful young woman who's in the fancy school on a scholarship and is brought to shame by the leaking of a somewhat provocative video that her boyfriend had encouraged her to send him, which leads to spirals of disaster for her. And while she's working as a paid tennis coach at a summer tennis club, meets
Yep.
a young woman who has an awful grudge against a woman from her past, and is joining the school. And they decide, as I think Tosin said at the time, very much. And I now can't think of
Strangers on the train.
on trains. Very strangers on a train, but they swap revenge plots, and it's very well done. It's not a repeat of anything I remember seeing before. It's not Clueless. It has elements of Clueless to it if one is looking for it, but obviously it's modern, and
Yeah.
I say that with a wry smile because none of us are. We are, we are not young people. We do not understand this environment in which they live. So I couldn't tell you how realistic it was because I'm in my 40s, but it was.
And I'm guessing didn't go to private school.
I did go to private school.
Oh, you did go to
Um,
private school. Ah.
I I went to boarding school.
Ah. So
So
did any of this look familiar to you?
no, not even vaguely, nothing like that happened. They didn't have to go to chapel every morning for a start. So there was a fundamental difference there. We had a lot more prayer, far more hymns, um, um, and really very uncomfortable school uniforms. So no commonality there at all. Um, but so it bore no resemblance to any of my school experiences. But watching this sort of upper class American, very, very expensive private school existence with cliques and all sorts of nonsense, as one sees in all high school,
Yeah,
I'd say.
because as I hinted at earlier in this, there is how they have that scene in Wednesday where they walk around and they point out who all the different cliques in the school are. They have a very similar, very self-aware scene that kind of like they do this scene in this film where they pretty much say, well, this happens in every high school movie, so let's go around and let's show you all the different cliques that are in the school.
I thought they did it really well. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was was it a comedy? Sort of a comedy. It was very funny in
Sort
many
of,
ways, but I'm not sure
sort of,
I'd
yeah.
say it was, and I don't think it was a drama. Um, so I'm not quite sure what it was, but I enjoyed whatever it was and whatever it was trying to
It
be.
was a
I thought
dromedary.
dromedary, yes. I thoroughly
Dromedary, a dromedary Manchuri.
would go with that, and I would absolutely watch it again in my eternal list of things I will rewatch. As we know, I rewatch almost
Uh,
everything.
Oh no, no, no! This
Um,
is this is one I would actually join you with. I would join you with rewatching with watching Do Revenge. Yeah.
Yeah, this is firmly a Saturday afternoon with a giant cup of tea, blanket on the sofa and giggling somewhat.
Yeah.
And it was good. I really really enjoyed it. So I think that would get a 4 from me.
Yep, and also for I will be eternally grateful to this film because obviously you say that we're no longer that age. We're no longer high school. We don't really know what goes on in those places. They probably look alien to us nowadays. But I
Yeah.
will be forever indebted to this film for introducing me to the term NB, which it was one of those things that they said it in the film, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to Google that. I'm not so old that I don't know how to Google. I was like, I'm just going to Google that, and I looked up, and I was like, oh, I like that. And it's so, the way they say, oh, I think it's in the line where they say something like, oh, male, female, or NB. And I was like, what? What's NB? What's an NB? And I looked it up, and it's actually a term for somebody who does not identify as any particular gender. And I was like, I like that because a lot of the terms that I use sometimes, I find them a bit clunky and I find them a bit kind of like trying to, but that was one I was like, oh, that's actually one that I really like that's a useful word. It's,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes, because rather than using non-binary, which takes longer, it just sort of fits into a sentence. It sort of flows.
yeah, and it's like I like envy, but that and also
Yeah.
the line in the film where they went, oh, you know what we should do? Don't say makeover, don't say makeover. We should do a makeover. Oh, that's so problematic. I know, but it's so much fun.
And it was so much fun.
Yeah, and I think it's quite cool, and I think Maya Hawke, daughter of Ethan and Uma, so Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman. Yeah. The one who's she's the one who's she's the one whose dad restores classic cars.
Yes.
Yes, and Camila Mendes, who are the leads. Camila Mendes, from most known for Riverdale, but it's yeah, they're really good. So cool.
Yeah. Now you say it, I can see the look. Now you've said it.
No,
But
honestly, once you're told that is Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman's daughter, you start seeing it. You start seeing both of them. All of a sudden, like there's certain looks that she'll do, and sometimes you like do a pose like where she's looking over her shoulder, and you're like, it's her mom. It's Uma Thurman, and you start seeing it. But okay, cool. So I think that is it for us this week. Be it seen as we had nothing in cinema, so yeah, Netflix one way or whatever.